Most people who try to learn a new complex skill, let's say a new programming language or advanced data analysis, they'll spend months on it, maybe even a year. And, well, they ultimately fail.
It's the standard cycle. You get all excited,
Yeah.
you buy that massive online course,
Yeah.
and then 2 weeks later, you're just exhausted.
And you quit.
You quit.
The insight from our sources this week suggests that the secret to, accelerating that learning by 3 times, it isn't studying harder at all. It's focusing with laser precision on the preparation.
The setup phase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The work that's done before you even open chapter 1. That's the key.
And we all feel that squeeze, right? I mean, the world is moving so fast. New software, new regulatory environments, new languages you need just to keep pace. And that traditional approach of buying the 20-hour course and trying to memorize every little detail, it's obsolete.
It's designed to overwhelm you.
It is. It's fundamentally exhausting. It just leads to information overload because you're trying to absorb everything.
So in this deep dive, we're looking at a different way, a systematic structure.
A very precise one, yeah. It replaces those months of, ineffective study with just weeks of targeted action.
Yeah.
And we're going to leverage the power of free AI tools.
And today, in part 1, we're focusing entirely on that hidden work of preparation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Setting the right goals, finding the right materials, and structurally priming your brain to learn fast.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have to start with the core philosophy because it seems like we have to fundamentally change how we even view learning itself.
It's a huge mindset shift. The sources use this great analogy. They call it the Jigsaw Puzzle Method.
Right?
Think about it. If you're tackling a 1,000-piece puzzle, you wouldn't just grab a random piece and spend 10 minutes memorizing its tiny blue pattern.
No, that's madness. You'd go crazy.
Yeah.
You instinctively follow 3 steps. First, you look at the picture on the box. You have to see the final result. 2, you sort the pieces. You find all the edges and the corners.
Right. The important stuff.
And 3, you build the frame first.
And traditional learning is so often the exact opposite of that. It just hands us random pieces.
Yeah.
A date in history, a specific formula, an isolated fact.
With no context.
Zero context. It tells us to memorize them without ever showing us the picture on the box.
And without that big picture, we spend, 90% of our energy just trying to figure out where that one piece fits.
Yes, instead of focusing on the actual content, this system flips that entirely. We use AI to build that frame, that big picture, almost instantly.
So filling in the middle becomes more like a targeted search, like a game.
Exactly. That frame holds everything together. It stops the information from just, slipping out of your memory.
So if traditional learning is all about the sheer volume of input, hours watched, pages read, what do our sources say is the single biggest failure point?
It's the absence of a tangible output goal. That's what causes all the unnecessary study and ultimately the failure.
That lack of focus, that leads directly to the biggest mistake most of us make, setting these fuzzy goals. Things like, I want to learn graphic design, or I want to get better at Python.
They sound good, they sound aspirational, but they're traps.
Why are they traps?
Because learning Python never actually ends. It's infinite. And because the goal isn't clear, you will inevitably waste days studying things you just don't need.
Like some niche Python library you'll never use.
Right, because you don't know what the final project is even supposed to look like.
So we have to switch our energy away from those input goals, like I'll watch 10 hours of tutorials, to concrete output goals.
And the test is so simple. It's the can I show it test. You can't show a friend knowledge,
Right.
but you can show them a finished product, a poster you designed, a specific spreadsheet, a published article. That product is your target.
Okay, let's really dissect this because this seems to be where the time savings begin.
Yeah.
How do you fix a vague goal?
Okay, so instead of, I want to learn Excel, which is a total trap, you set a finite, measurable goal.
For instance,
I want to create a personal budget spreadsheet that automatically calculates my monthly savings using VLOOKUP and SUMIF by next Saturday.
wow, okay, that is specific.
It's incredibly specific.
Because it forces you to learn exactly 3 functions and nothing else. You immediately cut out, 98% of the Excel knowledge base?
Pretty much. Or another one, instead of, I want to understand artificial intelligence, the good goal is, I want to write a 1,000-word article about the history of AI and publish it on a specific platform by the end of this month.
It forces a concrete deliverable.
It does.
But wait a minute. Doesn't that extreme specificity, doesn't that limit your creativity? Or your chance to discover related skills along the way. What if you realize you need something else?
That's a great question, but the specificity is what prevents what we call prompt drift. That initial focus lets you finish something.
It builds momentum.
Yes. If you decide later you need to pivot, fine. You just tackle a new, specific project. The goal here is completion and a demonstrable skill, not some holistic, infinite knowledge.
And it's important for you listening to hear this. Even experts struggle with maintaining that kind of focus.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself when I'm starting big projects. It's so easy to slip back into those, fuzzy goals.
Right.
Yeah. If I start researching a new tool and I don't immediately tie it to the specific report I need to deliver next week, I'll spend 3 hours just reading general news instead.
So the goal keeps you tethered.
Completely.
So how does having that specific output goal save the listener time, like right away?
It forces you to ignore every single resource, every rabbit hole, and every tangential detail that does not directly help you reach that finish line. It's a time-saving filter.
Okay, so goal lockdown. We know exactly what we need to build. But even the best goal is, well, useless if we dive into a bad resource pool.
And this is where the next problem starts. Searching for the right materials.
This is where Google and YouTube become dangerous.
They create what we call the rabbit hole. They lead you to millions of old, confusing, or, super promotional results. You can waste 5 or 6 hours just clicking links and feeling overwhelmed.
So the system says we skip Google entirely.
We go straight to using AI for targeted research. And for this, we use a tool called Perplexity.
And Perplexity is?
It's an AI tool that summarizes the entire internet for you, and it provides sources and references. We're using it here to act like a smart friend who has already read every obscure forum and every review site.
And our strategy here is focused on crowdsourced wisdom.
Yes. We want to find out what real students recommend, not what some company's trying to sell us.
So the prompt structure we use here is critical. We have to be specific about where we want the AI to look.
Exactly. Not just what we want to learn. We have to tell the AI to act as an expert researcher. We don't want the marketing copy.
You want the wisdom from the trenches.
Right, which means explicitly targeting specialized learner communities.
Why do we need to tell it to look at, say, Reddit or specific forums? Wouldn't a general search be enough?
Because the best, most unbiased reviews, they usually exist outside of polished commercial websites. People on Reddit or, highly specialized forums, they are brutally honest about what works and what doesn't.
We're tapping into that genuine learner experience.
Yeah, that's the goal. We're asking for the 80-20 resources, the 20% of materials that are going to give the learner 80% of the practical results for their specific goal.
Okay, so what's the prompt structure look like?
It's pretty straightforward.
Oh.
We define our specific topic and goal. We tell it to act as an expert researcher focusing on Reddit and other learner communities. We ask for the top 3 80-20 resources.
And the last part is the most important.
It is. We ask for one specific negative thing for each recommendation.
Why is asking for one negative thing about a course so important to the result?
It establishes credibility. It establishes trust. If the AI just lists 3 perfect resources, it's just generic output.
But when it includes a real critique?
Right. This course is fantastic, but the instructor speaks way too fast, or the examples are a little dated. That proves the results are genuine crowdsourced wisdom.
So by using this structured approach, how much time are we actually saving compared to, just wading through search results manually?
On average, we're saving about 4 full hours. The AI delivers a specific YouTube playlist, a free website, or a top-rated book, all vetted by peers, in about 2 minutes.
Okay, so we have the goal and we have the perfect crowdsourced resource. And the temptation right now is enormous. The learner is just itching to start reading chapter 1.
And we have to fight that impulse. We have to. We need the concept of priming.
Priming.
Yeah, think of it like a professional painter prepping a wall. You clean it, you put on that primer coat, and that's what makes the real paint stick better.
You don't just dump the finished color onto drywall.
Exactly. And your brain needs a primer, too. Priming just means scanning the information to build a structural mental map before you dive into the details.
This prepares your brain to categorize and hold new data more effectively.
And for this step, we use a tool called NotebookLM.
Which is a free Google tool.
Yeah, a powerful one. It's designed to analyze documents you upload and create useful structures and summaries from them. It's like your structural assistant.
So we upload the material we found with Perplexity,
Yeah.
that long PDF, or the transcript of a 3-hour lecture. but we don't read it yet.
Not yet. We just ask NotebookLM to generate the mental map.
And the prompt here is surgical.
Very. We ask for the 5 most critical concepts in the document, defined in simple one-sentence definitions. And then we also ask for the 10 most common or essential jargon words we're going to encounter.
That's it.
That's it. Short, fast, structural. We spend maybe 5 minutes reading that map.
So what does the learner actually see after NotebookLM runs that prompt?
They see a cheat sheet. You get 5 bullet points of the big ideas. So in Python, maybe the 5 key concepts are variables, loops, functions, data types, and classes. You read that list. Now, when you start studying for real and you see the word function or, VO, UCUP, your brain just lights up. It says, hey, I saw that word on the list. This is important.
It's the absolute opposite of passive reading.
Right.
That 5-minute priming session, it just significantly improves your attention because your brain knows what to flag as important.
Absolutely. The framework is in place.
All right, now for what seems like the most counterintuitive part of this whole setup, this is where we weaponize failure.
The fail-first technique.
Taking a quiz before you've learned anything.
It sounds genuinely terrifying. And you will fail. You might score 0%. But that is precisely the point.
How so?
When your brain encounters a question of fact, a piece of jargon, and you don't know the answer, it creates this powerful neurological state. It's called a knowledge gap.
A knowledge gap.
Yes. And your brain hates incomplete information. It becomes curious. It shifts from just passive acceptance, just reading words, to active hunting.
It's like hearing half a joke.
Exactly. You truly need to hear the punchline. And that need for resolution, that's motivation.
Whoa. I mean, just imagine scaling that feeling of curiosity, that specific gap, across every single new topic you approach.
You're weaponizing motivation itself. That gap creates a receptive state for learning.
So we use NotebookLM for this too.
We do. We ask it to create a 10-question multiple-choice quiz based on the text we uploaded, and this is key. We hide the answers initially.
So the learner takes the quiz.
Yeah.
They guess. They get them wrong.
They feel that little pang of failure, yes.
Yeah.
And then they look at the correct answers. Now their brain is fully awake.
So when they go back to the source material,
They aren't passively reading anymore. They are actively searching for the context that fills those 10 specific gaps. And that just massively increases memory retention.
how does failing that quiz at the beginning help more than, succeeding on one at the end?
Because the failure wakes the brain up. It shifts the learner immediately into an active information hunting mode. Success at the end just confirms your memory. Failure at the start creates the desire for memory.
So we just built the entire structural framework for learning, and we haven't even traditionally studied yet.
Not a single minute of it.
But we have this powerful foundation. We locked down a specific, measurable output goal.
Yeah.
We found the absolute best resources using crowdsourced wisdom from Perplexity, and we primed our brain with a mental map and a pretest using NotebookLM.
And this whole setup phase,
Yeah,
the research, the priming, it takes what, maybe 1 to 2 hours?
that's incredible.
In the old way, that would have been a full week just wasted on worry, overwhelm, and bad searches. This foundation is now ready for part 2.
And in part 2, we're going to get into the layered learning technique, how to actually consume that material efficiently, and how to use AI as your own 234/7 personal tutor.
It's the execution phase, built entirely on the frame we created today.
Okay, so here's the final provocative thought for you to consider, based on the material we covered. The sources suggest that the biggest cause of long-term failure isn't the difficulty of the subject itself, it's simply the lack of a tangible output goal. So think about a skill you've struggled to learn in the past. Was your goal truly something you could show someone else? Or was it just a vague wish?
Start building your frame today.
We invite you to join us for the next part of this deep dive.
Until then.